Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This episode is brought to you by The Farmer's Dog, a service that delivers gently cooked, freshly made pet food straight to your door. Each balanced recipe is developed by board-certified nutritionists and clinically proven to support healthy aging. The Farmer's Dog, guided by science, driven by love. New customer? Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/Spotify. Plus, you get free shipping.
Attention, Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the Soul of Excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now, here's James Golden.
For James today, an absolute honor to be here with you folks. The number to reach me this hour, 800-848-9222. So we'll get to some of the big stories. Again, Nick Shirley. Oh, Cali. Going back to Cali. Kamala. Oh, Kamala. You put him on the ticket, Governor Dum Dum. How well did that work out? And if memory serves correct, didn't Governor Dum Dum, Tim Walz, praise child care in Minnesota during a debate? Or certainly during the campaign he did. The man lied nonstop during the campaign. And he said, bonehead, I'm a bonehead, something, to cover his lies. Kamala, oh, Kamala, you and Mom Donnie becoming the mayor of the nation's largest city in a little more than 48 hours. Oh, does anybody have a garbage pail so I can bend my head over and then put the garbage bag around my head and just end it? Just get it over and done with. 800-848-9222. But we'll get to Nick Shirley in just a second, the independent journalist that is rocking Minnesota's world, exposing the corruption. I know. What about the mainstream media? Oh, they were too busy kissing the backside of Congresswoman Arrogance Ilhan Omar to do investigative work. It took an independent journalist to come in and expose corruption to the tune of $9 billion and growing. But you have to love our president, President Trump. One of the reasons why I voted for him, the man gets the job done. He's only a year into term 2. Imagine what's going to happen the second year. Just imagine. So he's meeting with Zelensky, Mar-a-Lago, and he's going to talk, or had already talked, to Putin for 2.5 hours on the phone. The president stating that he believes that he can get this war over. And I am telling you, he's going to get the job done. He's not going to rest until he achieves the goal. That's just his DNA. That's who he is. But this is his DNA as well. I want you to listen to this so you understand a bit of the personality about the man. So they're about to kick the media out so he can have his private meeting with Zelensky. And you have all the cameras there. And the president offers to feed the media. But then he has this conversation within himself of, wait a minute, if I feed you, does that mean you're going to do negative stories so you don't feel bad about the free meal that you just accepted? Because in our business, as you folks know, we're not supposed to accept any free anything. There are terms in our contract. But anyway, I want you to listen to the President of the United States as he engages in this conversation with himself, with the media there, about feeding reporters.
Are you okay? Is everyone fine? Margot, if you would, I think you could sit outside and have some food. Would you like to have food, or do you consider that a bribe? And therefore you cannot write honestly, or therefore you have to write a bad story? Okay, because if you'd like, would you like something to eat at this time? Yes or no? You can speak.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay. Margot, take them outside, tell the chef, serve them a little lunch, okay?
Thank you, press.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
That should guarantee good stories, but it won't.
Thanks, guys. We're done.
They'll only get worse. Alex will go out of their way to make them worse. He gave us a hamburger. We have to make them good.
Alex, thanks. Press.
Okay?
Thank you, press. Thank you,
You
press.
lead the way. Go outside on the porch.
Very interesting. So for the record, folks, I give the reporters credit, or the cameramen. Mr. President said, do you want me to feed you? Some of them said yes. That's a no-no. We're not supposed, especially from the President of the United States, we're not supposed to accept any free meals, no free trips, no free anything. But I'm glad at least they were candid and honest, and the president did feed them. So now let's get on to the topic at hand, and that is Minnesota and the independent journalist Nick Shirley. Dominic Carter filling in for James Golden. James has a few days off. And I want you to listen to this. One of the men that helped Mr. Shirley, the independent journalist, he's standing here with him, interviewing him. I want you to listen to what this individual has to say.
His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked. How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these child care centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation, contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
Just write the check. You cannot make this stuff up. And let me tell you something, what I know, those are ambulance services. So many years ago, when I started in journalism, I used to run with my partner an ambulance service. And when you're collecting federal dollars, which we did, right? The government is, or at least at that time in New York, meticulous about every letter that's spelled on the reimbursement form to get paid. And if anything is submitted that's not on the up and up, they deduct that from your next check. So if they find that that you overbilled Medicaid for, let's say, $5,000, for argument's sake, your next check that's legit is minus $5,000. So how was this allowed to go on and on and on and on? It was so bad that one fraudulent business in Minnesota, a daycare, where the owner received $1.9 million this year, misspelled the word learning on the awning.
Here in Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong, and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these child care centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday. If you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working, midday, children should be in here, and this place is licensed for 99 children, and this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing, and like I said, they literally spelt the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place here inside of Minnesota. The government is complicit with this, and this is just one of the hundreds of child daycare centers here inside of Minneapolis being ran by the Somali population. It's sad that it's happening here in Minnesota, and it stinks that it's happening and it's being labeled on the Somali population. However, that's just the facts of what's happening here inside of Minnesota. $1.9 million for this daycare center that can't even spell learning right.
And again, that's Nick Shirley, the independent journalist. Now, folks, the way this is supposed to work, there are specific laws, especially around daycares. You got to have X amount of bathrooms, X amount of windows, X amount of playground space. It goes on and on and on. There are unannounced inspections every couple of months to make sure that the children are okay. Where was the process to make sure, one, for the children's health, and two, to protect government dollars? You know where it was, because they were voting for Democrats. The Democrats had the vote on lock, so they just looked the other way. 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter in for James Golden. Let's go to Zig and Pauline, line 5. What's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, how are you? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Wonderful.
Hey, Nick Shirley should be the president of CNN. Donald Trump should appoint him president of CNN because he's a journalist.
Right, but CNN is a private company. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know. We should take it over anyway. I mean, it's fraud. That's fraud, too. But this guy, digging into this, that is absolutely fabulous. Nobody can ignore him. Dominic, God bless you. Happy New Year.
And same to you and your family. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Judith Line in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Judith?
Hi, Dominic. You know something? I'm listening to this show, and I said, let me put in my 2 cents, because when you were talking about the Somalians and you said they're not born Americans and all these Somalians are doing all this kind of fraud and getting away with it, blah, blah. So I just wanted so here's the deal, because they're not born Americans. So here, there was an article. I didn't read it. My husband did. But this is what the gist of it. It was about housing crisis in New York. And it was talking about illegals, okay? You remember the illegals that came here and flooded New York, and they're here, okay, through Obama invasion and everything? Well, this housing crisis that they're talking about, illegals in New York, they're getting HUD. Could you explain to me how they are getting HUD? And they are illegals. They're not American citizens at all, and they're getting assistance, and they're to the tune of like $300,000, $500,000, and we've got a housing crisis because these people came in.
Well, I can't really comment on it, Judith, because I would have to see the article. If I saw it, I could tell you in 2 seconds whether it's legit or not. But without actually seeing it, I don't know. I don't know, for example, if the Biden administration gave them Social Security cards, and thus that you could start the process to receive services. Surely we know they should not be receiving them. I don't know. I mean, it's like the American comes dead last. How does these Somalians come here and do what they did? And it shows us, Judith, and I got to take a break. Thank you for the call. It shows you the respect that they have for America and for you and I. I say send them all back to Somalia and let them work it out amongst their civil wars amongst themselves. You know, you came over here, you're buying penthouses, luxury cars, but your brothers and sisters in Somalia, some of them don't even have on sneakers or shoes. But I guess you forgot all about them. That doesn't go with the story now, right? You're over here with Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, and everybody's getting paid, except for the American taxpayer. Time for a break. Dominic Carter in for James Golden. We're coming right back.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Oh, Snerdley.
Fontanez on my Twitter at Dominic TV says if the mayor-elect, Mamdani, gets his way with universal child care, that scam is going to brew in New York City if it's not already with Medicaid's home aid assistance. The lovely Debbie Lobato, who injured her foot. Debbie, we see the boot. Debbie says at Dominic TV, dumb. Why do you think that the immigrants are stealing from us? Because Biden gave them the permission by letting them break the law by coming over the border without being vetted. That was the first mistake, and then plot thickens. You got a point there, Debbie. You got a point there. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go to Patty, line 3, Long Island. Patty, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. As usual, your show is awesome. I wanted to get right to the point. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I live in Syosset, New York. I've been online, and I see a lot of people upstate, Putnam County, all these nice counties upstate. They really don't know Bruce Blakeman, and they go, wow, we'd really like to know more about him, and they just want to know. Well, I'm here. I've been here for 30 years, and I just wanted to say he is what everybody is saying as far as wonderful. 2, I have so many instances, but I know you have a busy, show. So I wanted to get to 2. Number 1, Biden a few years ago dropped off illegals on a secret plane load from Republic Airport and dropped them right here in my hometown at Mercy First, which is a state-funded place. And didn't want anyone to know. One of my neighbors happened to be at Republic Airport, saw all these people getting into buses and followed the buses right here to our town. Once they were there, all of a sudden our neighborhood, the cars were missing Cadillac converters and robberies. Our town, which was never broken into before, all the windows were broken into, and looting, and my son's little friend who opened a pretzel store, completely destroyed. It was horrible. This Bruce Blakeman was just getting in at that time, and he put an end to this so fast you wouldn't believe it. Before that, everyone was complaining, what's going on with Mercy First? What's going on? Nothing was done. He's the type, he doesn't sit there like Hillary Clinton used to say and say, let's just talk about all this. Let's just have a chat. Let's talk about it. He sees common sense, what's going on, and he got rid of them.
I agree with you.
Yes, there was a vape shop, okay? Brand new vape shop under the previous administration who let this store come in right next door to Dunkin' Donuts, okay? All the kids in the high school, not all of them, some of them, were telling their parents, can you drop me off at Dunkin' Donuts? I want to meet Joey or Phil and stuff like that. Parents, unbeknownst to, giving them money for Dunkin' Donuts, they're going to sit there. They go next door to the vape shop.
Hey, Patty, I'll give you the choice of holding on if you want to. I got to take a break. We're coming right back. For James Golden. Don't forget, folks, coming up at the top of the hour, must listen to radio, Katz and Cosby, our owner-operator, John Katsimatidis, and the lovely Rita Cosby. That's where all the newsmakers go. You know it, folks. That's coming up in just a matter of a couple of minutes. I was just talking to Patty on Long Island. She's a big fan of Bruce Blakeman, so am I. And Governor Hochul of New York, if you think this race is going to be a walk in the park, think again. Bruce Blakeman is not that type of guy. So, Patty, in wrapping this up, you were just telling me a story about the kids near a pizzeria?
Yes, it was actually a Dunkin' Donuts. The kids would go in, and then they'd go next door, and they would get vapes because they were being sold to underage children. When we told the previous administration about it, well, let's talk about it. Let's figure this out. Bruce Blakeman went in, closed the place down, and then they had to do all these other things and blah, blah, blah. Right away, he did it. The other thing I wanted to tell you, 2 things he just instituted, which we never had here before, some hiring expo for young kids to get jobs. They had that. And the other thing is a first round-the-clock guidance mental health crisis center that they said from ages 5 to whatever age, any kind of crisis mentally that you want to go to. They just opened it in Hicksville. It's brand new. He's still not stopping. I don't know him personally, but after being here for so many years, and I keep seeing these things in my mail, he doesn't stop. He really, for those people that
the real
live
deal. He's the real deal, Patty. I got to move on, but Bruce Blakeman is the real deal. And I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if he won the governor's race. We'll see how that all plays out. Again, folks, Dominic Carter in for James Golden. The number to reach me, 800-848-9222. Line 1, Olena, New Jersey. What's on your mind?
First of all, blessings to you and your family for Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you.
You're very welcome. Dominic, I'm listening to this free about New York with the upcoming new mayor. In Minneapolis had the biggest scam in billions with free daycare. What's going to happen to New York, and is Governor Hochul going to do the same thing as the Minnesota governor did in allowing billions of dollars to be scammed off New York State over free daycare?
I want to believe that it can't happen in New York the way it happened in Minnesota, because there are regulations and health inspectors go out to the daycare centers. There's still fraud, but they go out to the daycare centers in New York. They check the things as it relates to children, how many children are there, what's the ratio of teacher and aide to student. They check a lot of things in New York. So I want to believe that it's not happening that way. But I will say this. If you think that Mamdani is not the man right now, think again. Because he knows that he has got Governor Hochul. Oh, boy. She is in a pickle. If she doesn't do the Mamdani two-step every time he says Governor jump, she's got a problem. Now, I don't know if she's going to be able to deliver on raising taxes the way he wants. The legislature probably won't go for that. But if Mamdani does not endorse her, and if I'm Governor Hochul, I wouldn't have endorsed him, because I would have said, is he going to endorse me? And look at how he treats her when he's asked about whether or not he's going to support her. We'll get to that when we get to it. We'll deal with that later. I would have said, no, I'm not going to kiss his rear end. I'd rather lose than kiss his rear end. But maybe that's why I'm not in politics. So the next year, Governor Hochul going into the battle of her life. Remember, Democrats had to bring in all the national Democrats to get her over the top the last time around. So she's in a pickle. And Mamdani, I can't believe that I'm saying this. Mamdani, for right now, is the kingmaker, the political kingmaker. Cannot believe that I'm saying this, Olena. I shouldn't call the mayor of New York City a clown. I believe I just did. I think I'm going to call him a double clown, a triple clown. What else can I say? The dude is a clown, and he should not be the mayor of New York. But we know why he's the mayor of New York. Because the egos that were running for mayor, one wouldn't get out of the race. And now he wants everybody to think about everything else except for the fact that he hand gave us Mamdani. And now we're stuck with the problem. You folks say whatever you want. I would have preferred Cuomo any day. I prefer the devil I know that will at least come to the table. Mamdani is all but telling us that he hates police and that he hates Jews. Look at the people around him. He doesn't pull any punches. Thank you for the telephone call. Let's go to Sandra, New Jersey, line 4. Sandra, what's on your mind?
Oh, good afternoon, Dominic. So many things, but first, John Fetterman, the apple doesn't fall far from the trees. His parents were Republicans, so a lot of these beautiful values that he has, they don't leave you. Because I even ask myself sometimes, I love my conservative values. Why do people not like these values? And I looked it up, Dominic. So many beautiful things they say about being a conservative person. I won't go into it on the radio, but it's just a great, and I'm proud to be conservative. And then I wanted to say, Ilhan Omar, if I have any wish in this life of mine, I wish to see her leave this country. I just learned the other day when I was reading that in Italy, there's these two big charities collecting lots and lots of money. They ended up giving it to Hamas. So all of this fraudulent stuff, it's contagious, and people, it sets a precedent, and new people start to copy these bad things. So my mother once said, a thief and a liar is always caught. And I just hope that we see justice with this woman who insults us, saying that she doesn't have the patience to talk to us because we're too stupid for her. You know how angry I get when I hear that, Dominic? My blood boils a little bit. But I'm proud to have my values: self-control, accountability, integrity. And this is what it means to be conservative, to appreciate your country that you live in, to sacrifice. And it's all good stuff. So that's what I wanted to say.
Anybody that doesn't appreciate our country is a fool. I'm sorry.
Right.
I said it. I'm not backing up. It is what it is. Sandra, before I let you go, have you been in that pool doing those 100 laps?
I did, but you know what I did yesterday, Dominic?
What did you do yesterday?
I went on the computer with my husband and I said, Michael, I want to find God Bless America. I want to see all the keys that it comes in. And I picked one I think will work for your voice. So when you're ready, no, I'm serious. When you come to the club, that piano is going to be there, and you're going to sing God Bless America, and then everyone will chime in with you. This is my vision. So I found the key that I think will work for you, and that's step one.
That's step one. Okay. Yes. All right. Sounds good. Sandra, thank you.
Start practicing the song.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for the telephone call. You know what? The only thing I want to piggyback on of what Sandra just said, and I'm not this type of person, but Ilhan Omar is so disgusting. I want to see her in handcuffs and her feet chained as well. Let's see how much mouth you got then as you're in ICE custody being shown the door. But first, the great federal prosecutors that we have in this country, you got to lock up that money. Find a way to stop her. I know the money's already gone. Find a way to stop her from shipping that money out, because you better believe if it's not already gone, she's trying every day to get that money gone. She knows, I think, that her days are numbered. I want you to hear this as it relates to, and Dominic Carter in for James Golden. Don't forget, coming up in just minutes, Katz and Cosby. At the top of the hour, our owner-operator, John Katsimatidis and Rita Cosby, Must Listen to Radio. Great show standing by. The situation in Minnesota, a man out jogging, and he had on his winter gear while he's out jogging. Even while he's jogging, he was thinking about the corruption that is taking place in his state.
I'm not going after my own kind, because my own kind will do it legally.
No, we're looking for soundbite number 20.
I want to be proud to say I'm from Minnesota again. We welcomed people into this community, into this state, and they're stealing from us. They're stealing from you. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what political affiliation you claim to be a part of. This child care center fraud is an abomination, and it should upset every single Minnesotan.
And agreed, it should. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Line 5, Victor in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, sir?
I don't know if anybody mentioned it before, but New York State is not going to follow the lead of federal government.
We did. Obviously, you don't listen to the show. We did a whole hour on it last night. But what's your point? Get to the point. I don't need you to recite the facts. We did a whole hour on it.
My point is the people that work in restaurant trades, in construction.
Sir, I don't need you to tell the story. We've already done that. What is your opinion?
My opinion is that it's not good.
Wait, what's not good? Sir, I'm going to say for the last time, and then I'm moving on. What is not good? Okay. Do you support it? Do you not support it? You're serving as, I don't need you to be a news reporter. Give me your opinion.
I am not supporting the fact that New York is not going to follow federal
Trump's lead. They're not going to follow Trump's lead.
Right.
Well, so you don't agree with Governor Hochul and Pretty Boy Gavin Newsom and others. I agree with you if that's what your position is. I believe that these workers should be allowed to keep their tips. Oftentimes they earn less than the minimum wage. It's time they get a helping hand as well, just like others get a helping hand from time to time. So is that what your point is, sir?
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Now, we know there are others on the other side that feel just the opposite way. Let's go to line 3, Sal and Bayonne. Sal, what's on your mind here on the James Golden Show?
Hello,
Dominic Carter
Dominic.
filling in.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your
Same
family.
to you and your family.
Yeah, I would like to say, Dominic, one thing we can do that will prevent future Ilhan Omars and Rashida Tlaibs and other bad people in this country, bad Islamist immigrants, is if we have comprehensive immigration reform. If we stop letting in all these third worlders into this country, and we let in only people that
Sal, but you're stating the obvious. How do you get that past Congress? They can't agree on anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wonderful idea. Just how do we get it done?
Yeah.
The Democrats are not going to do anything to give Trump a leg up. And going into the midterms, absolutely not. It's not going to happen. But you think that would stop the Ilhan Omars from coming into the country?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know.
Something has to give. Something has to give. I mean, again, if I had my way, and the federal prosecutors, they got to work this out. This lady would be led out in handcuffs and foot shackles on her feet because of her mouth and the things that she has said, so disrespectful to the American people, so disrespectful to President Trump. Lead her out in handcuffs and with her ankles shackled, and put her in a plane, put her on a bus, and take her out of the country. But we'll see. We'll see what the prosecutors come up with. Dominic Carter in for James Golden. We are going to take a break. You want to stay here, folks. Coming up in about 10 minutes, give or take, Katz and Cosby with the owner of the station, John Katzimatidis, the owner of the network, and the lovely Rita Cosby. It's the show where all the newsmakers go to. That's coming up in just minutes. But when we come back, your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter filling in for James. So great to be here with you folks. 800-848-9222. Boy, has Nick Shirley blew the lid on corruption in Minnesota. Daycares with no children, ambulance services with no passengers, and everybody's getting paid. It is horrible. Let's go to line 3. Ernest in Rockland County, New York. Ernest, what's on your mind?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say that all these ill actors in this government, New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, it doesn't matter. These public officers, to take their title of office, have to do 3 things. And it's law, but it's not being complied with. They have to sign an oath. They have to post their financial disclosure statement for public review so we can see what they own. And they have to be bonded. When they do things out of line, we can put a claim on their bond. Oath, FDS, and bond. All we need to do is enforce that in every single public officer, local, county, the cops, the judges, all of them.
Wait a minute. When you say they're bonded, I don't know exactly what you're referring to.
Okay, they have to put the town pays for the bond. The bond is for their
You mean for legal
integrity of their
protection?
office.
For legal protection
of the people of their office. In other words, they have to be bonded so that when they step out of line, we the people can put a claim on their bond and get paid.
But that
because
doesn't
we're paying
happen,
them.
Ernest. You know that these lawmakers often pass laws where they're protected. You can't even sue them in some cases.
Yes, sir, that's not true. You can. You put a claim on their bond.
No, you can't. You can't sue.
State
You
law.
can't. It's almost impossible to sue a prosecutor
Sir,
or a judge.
sir, look at New York Executive Law 73A for Hochul. It's got to be 70 pages.
Governor Hochul is not a judge and she's not a prosecutor.
Sir,
it's almost
lawyers
impossible
have
to
have
sue a
bond
prosecutor.
for twice their assets. If the guy's worth $5 million, he's got to have a $10 million bond.
And
People
you
don't
said
know the law.
you said they're required to tell us what they earn. No, they're not. They're required to give us ranges of their salary, not tell us what they earn. Ranges
Sir,
between this amount and that amount.
A financial disclosure statement is posted for every single one of their assets. Their
For
stock,
ranges,
bonds,
for
property.
ranges of what their income is. For ranges,
That's
not their
accurate.
specific income.
I disagree.
Okay, well then
That's
you don't know
New
what.
York
I'm
law.
sorry, Ernest. You don't know what you're talking about because I know what I'm talking about. With members of Congress, they have to post. It falls within a range. It's not a specific amount. Now, a range is still a pretty good idea, but that's the first defense that they throw at you. They say, whoa, I'm not worth all of that. That's the range of my salary income. That's what they often say.
We can put a claim on that when they do damage, and we get paid for what they've done.
You can't sue them for their personal. Come on, Ernest. Right now, you're wasting my time. You can't sue a member of Congress for their salary, for their income. I mean, they have protections. They're the ones that wrote the law. Thank you for the call. Let's go to let's see here. Let's go to John, line 5. Here on the James Golden Show, Dominic Carter filling in. John, line 5, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I was just wondering, like, Nick Shirley did a great job in this discovery, but where was the FBI on this one?
The only thing I will say, John, is that this is not Hollywood, right? We don't have a million FBI agents walking around.
Yes.
And it's the same thing like with local police. What do you think the NYPD is going to do when Mamdani says stand down? When Mamdani says stand down, excuse me?
I'm sorry, what about the sign, the misspelled sign? Did people in the town notice that it didn't say learning?
Well, if you're part of the Somalian community, you're not going to report it. You're going to protect your brother or sister. I mean, unfortunately. But what you said, the FBI. The Biden administration sent a clear message, a clear signal of stand down. These are our people that's going to make sure that I'm reelected, and meaning that, everybody gets to keep the gravy train. It's disgusting, the politics that go on. We need prosecutors, law enforcement officials that go after violations of the law with no political input involved. And what we've seen from Democrats is just utterly disgusting. And that's why we find ourselves in the situation that we are in. Folks, it's been great being here with you on the James Golden Show. I'm coming back at midnight.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and busts. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.